All right, welcome to Instant Reaction, the Blue Jay Banner post-game show, the original Creighton post-game show here on our YouTube channel, Blue Jay Banner. Thanks for joining us. Make sure, as always, if you haven't, hit subscribe button down below. It helps us out a lot. I want to thank our sponsors, as you can see them across the screen, Equitable Bank, West Pacific Dental Group, and Infusion Brewery Company. I wish I had some infusion products out here in Hawaii. I just couldn't make it work. I hope you enjoy the background. Tomorrow will be even better. You'll have more sunlight out there, so it'll be even better. Later on, we're going to be joined by assistant coach Ryan Miller on the coach's corner. We will have a worst call of the night, unsung hero. Worst call of the night could take maybe an hour.
Yeah.
And then we're going to preview, although we won't know the opponent, I'm going to preview the San Diego State Arizona game. Arizona's up right now. I got the game on right here in my Airbnb. But I do hope as you're back, although it was a nice day today in Omaha, correct?
It was, yeah. It was
All right,
nice.
all right,
No wind.
all right. Well, I hope you enjoy the beautiful scenery behind us, and it's been gorgeous here as always.
Scenery is better.
All right, so right to the game. Zach, I'd like to ask you, what did you think of that basketball game?
I think probably heart didn't stop beating until about 5 minutes ago. That was it also felt like probably the longest regulation basketball game I've ever watched. Ryan Nembhard. Ryan Nembhard. That's about it. That was the huge difference in the game. When he went out in the first half, Arkansas kind of crept back into it. He came back in. Lead got extended again. And obviously, foul issues with Trey kind of kept him around longer than they would have liked. I do think Farabello's only 3 bench points, but those 3 bench points were at a huge pivotal time in the game. So I'll give him that. Not the best defense.
That I'll say about time.
Yeah. Not the best defense I've seen.
Really?
And in certain, I mean, mostly just guys on the bench coming into the game. There's just a huge difference. You can tell, at least right now, going from starters to bench, and that's gonna happen when your 5 starters would be starting for any team in the country.
Yeah, I mean, I thought we tried to match them defensive effort. I mean, and that's tough. I mean,
Yeah.
when you're there in that as close to the floor I was, you can't believe how physical Arkansas is. Man, they were more physical than Texas Tech.
No, I believe that.
And
100%.
there was 3 dudes on their team that we had no answer for, and yet we still somehow found a way to win.
Yeah. Free throws definitely helped. Officiating both ways, not great.
It did. But again,
you got to make them.
I know there's a lot of bitching going on the Arkansas side, but when you play that physical, okay?
Yeah.
If you didn't get these refs, okay, and they call it close, we'll be in the bonus in the first, 5 minutes of the game. Seriously. I mean, they don't care about fouling. They really don't. They're going to go after guys. They're going to go until the ref calls it. And what happened in this game was they let everything go, and then it got over the top where it was so physical they had to start calling fouls. And then Arkansas got frustrated a little bit. Obviously, Musselman got frustrated. T on the bench, I mean, and he was going ballistic all throughout the game. And somebody said it looked like he went after one of the refs after the game, not physically, but really screaming at him.
I did see something like that on Twitter, and you would have a better idea. You were there in person, so obviously we just get little glimpses at him, and he seemed pretty irate in those little glimpses.
Yeah, there's a couple times I thought he was going to get a technical. A couple timeouts he went across half court. Usually, that's and then the refs gave the old sit down to everybody, and then that triggered him even more, and it was just on and on and on and on. But what a game by Ryan Nembhard. I mean, to control, I mean, he was just getting chucked out there constantly. a suffocating defense, guys that were a lot bigger than him. And
Mm-hmm.
early on, they had to make an adjustment there. They had to move Anthony Black off him because they quickly found out that he was going to blow by Black every play. Black's
Yeah.
a terrific player, by the way.
He's
But
very, very good.
so they went with a numerous people. Ricky Council was one of them,
Mm-hmm.
and then on the flip side, we had trouble with Ricky Council. He can elevate so high on his jump shot.
Yeah. It's
It's
not.
just
It didn't look pretty, but it went in.
yeah,
That's what
he
matters.
he really elevated.
Yeah.
And oh, who am I missing here? Oh, Travion Brazil.
Yeah, Brazil.
Brazil. Oh my goodness. He was on fire.
Yeah.
And I just don't know if that's, he's the backup center really on this team. And I don't know if that's just part of his game or tonight was just a night where he was, on fire. But he was 7 for 14, 17 points.
And he made 3 threes at one point in a row in the second half.
Right.
That's what
the
really
one
kept him
and
around.
the one call kind of got out on him late, and Matt was a little bit upset with that. But he, wow, yeah. I mean, this is just a tremendous team, and the fact that Nick Smith hasn't played for him yet is really crazy. One of the top freshmen in the country that they recruited, who, by the way, I saw him in warm-ups. He was out warming up. Oh man, when they get him in the fold, I don't know who they're going to sit on the bench though, but my goodness, that'll be a team to reckon with. But just I think Rob Anderson tweeted this out, just an unbelievable atmosphere. It was so loud in there. Every time they tried to do the Pig Suey chant, the Jays fans start chanting "Let's go Jays," and it just got louder and louder and louder in there. And then when all hell broke loose, when Musselman got the technical, then things really got crazy. And I thought, oh wow, the refs could really lose this game, but they kind of settled it down. And we got back to just playing basketball there the last 8 minutes of the game, which was great. But certainly it helped us out a lot that we got into the bonus early. Even though at times we struggled a little bit from the line, we did get it done, but we were shooting 2 very early in the game. Free throws, 21 and 29. So I don't know.
And you had some guys who normally wouldn't missing them. I think that's the worst. I've seen Kalk shoot free throws since his freshman year, but he's playing on a bad
Kalk was
ankle.
really, really tired, man.
Yeah.
And I know some people are upset, with him, gosh, he was weak with the ball a few times and stuff. But you have no idea until you're sitting there at courtside what was going on in there. There was so much hand slapping and pushing and shoving. I mean, off those screens, guys were literally getting shoved every time. It was pretty crazy. Remember, if you want to join us, we've got a link. So send us an email to that email. What's the email of Zach?
It is bjbinstantreaction@gmail.com.
Send us an email, and then we will let you into the proceedings. And it's time for Coach's Corner now. And joining us there he is, assistant coach Ryan Miller.
Thanks,
Coach, congratulations, man.
How's it going, sir? Thank you. I appreciate it. I did a heck of a job today.
That was just a war. I mean, that's all you can say. It was a war out there.
Yeah, I mean, it's two top 10 teams going at each other. No one wanted to bend or break, and had a heck of a college basketball game.
What going into the game? What was kind of your strategy as far as defending them?
Well, they're a good 3-point shooting team, not a great 3-point shooting team. We're trying to squeeze and try to keep everything in front of us, and then have them kick out, keep them in front, not go for their shot fakes. Trying to keep my transition a little bit, which we didn't do a very good job of. Some of our turnovers led to easy transition buckets, and then once they found something that they kind of exploited us with the pick and pop 5 with Brazil, and they kind of went to that all second half, and we didn't have many answers for it. We tried different coverages. We tried to blitz at times. We tried to switch at times, and they seemed to have an answer for all of our defensive schemes, and they made plays. But at the end of the day, we made plays down the stretch, both offensively and defensively, and we got the win.
Can't say enough about Ryan Nemhard. I mean, the game he played and just he really controlled the game, and it was pretty evident early on as I was sitting there courtside. I mean, he was easily the quickest player on the court, and it caused Arkansas some issues matching up with it.
Yeah, I mean, we have a heck of a lead guard, Ryan Nemhart. He's been through a lot of battles now, and he's knows how to come through in the clutch, and he led the team, both offensively and defensively tonight, and he was really, really, really good at both creating for himself and creating for others.
Yeah, it was a very physical game too. I mean, people don't understand. Sometimes we probably weren't as tough as we need to be, grabbing that rebound or grabbing that interior pass, but there was so much physicality going on in that game. Guys getting pushed and shoved and hand slapped, and it was just a very physical game.
Yeah. When you're going against these type of athletes and these top 10 teams, I mean, they're reason they're a top 10 team. They get great athletes on their side of the basketball. I mean, and they get big, strong, physical guys. Coach Musselman and his staff know what they're doing. So, we knew it was going to be a battle, and everybody had to get in the fight. And you're going to go up, and someone's going to come away with the rebound, and someone's not. And we got to win those battles throughout the course of a 40-minute game, as many as we can, to help us give us the most possessions possible, and then go down in the offensive end and get good shots at goal.
Yeah, I thought Baylor was key in that first half, hitting some big shots and kind of keeping us in and getting some rebounds and defending as well. I thought he was just the key in us, getting that little bit of a lead, but then we missed. We had it up 10 and we missed a couple of layups on two beautiful plays that we just didn't finish and kind of let them back in the game at half.
Yeah, the ebbs and flows of college basketball game, especially when you're playing a really good talent, it's going to hard to really pull away from them. They got stops. They created some stops. They were able to come down and score on us. And our kids just kept battling, and they battled through the adversity of the whole game in 40 minutes. I mean, Arkansas was going to make runs at us, and they did. And every time they did, we kind of countered back, and we made the plays.
Yeah, Trey, I thought had a really quiet, really good game because he was, assigned to, guard Black for a great portion of that game, and that's no easy task.
Oh, no question. Anthony Black, probably one of the premier point guards in the country, and Trey did a heck of a job when he was assigned to him. And he's a really good player. He's got great size, great versatility. He can, especially if he's making jump shots, he's a really tough cover. But Trey Alexander is one of the best two-way players in our league in the Big East, and he showed it tonight, guarding Black, and also performing on the offensive end, especially down the stretch where he made a couple key baskets and a couple key free throws.
How concerned are you guys? You pretty much went with the starting five in the second half in a physical, high pressure, high energy game. Now you got that third game in 30 days. How are the guys feeling?
Yeah, we're going to have to get in our bench a little bit more. Tonight was such a high level game, and down the stretch,
I'm not sure that we still have Coach Miller.
Yeah, I got back on, but Coach wanted to go with guys, the veteran leadership, guys that played a lot of minutes together, and end of last year. And can you hear me all right, Tim?
Oh yeah, you're fine, Coach. Go ahead.
Yep. So I was just saying that Coach down the stretch wanted to go down with the guys, had a lot of experience in those situations and make the plays down the stretch, and they did.
Yeah, probably. Two really good defensive teams who you're going to meet tomorrow. Either one. San Diego State probably a lot slower paced team though. I mean, we've played San Diego State quite a few times here over the last few years, so we kind of know what to expect out of them. We've never really matched up with Arizona. Can you give us like a little tidbit of what Arizona does?
Well, they're going to be a very up-tempo team. They're a high-caliber offensive juggernaut type team. They want to get up and down the court. They want to transition. They want to shoot threes. They want to get into their big guys. They're going to be a challenge for us to guard. But it should be – whoever we play, it's going to be a highly entertaining game. Both teams are really good. Both teams are top 25 in the country. And it's going to be a battle every play.
And they've got some athletes with a lot of size. You know, a lot of. I think what did I see last night? They had 4 guys 6'11" and above that play meaningful minutes. So.
Yeah, it's going to be, again, like today, battle of teams that are really talented, really good. Who's going to be able to execute during the course of 40 minutes? Who's going to be able to make the plays down the stretch? Will probably come home the winner. Who's going to make the free throws? Who's going to get the tough rebounds? Who's going to make the get on the floor for the loose balls over a course of 40 minutes? Will probably come home.
Well, it was huge tonight too that we got into that bonus early in the second half.
Lost again, but yeah. So it's going to be a tough battle. No doubt about it.
All right. Hey, Coach, thanks so much for joining us. Really appreciate it. Congratulations. Great job. Awesome job. We'll see you tomorrow.
Thanks, Tim. I appreciate it. Have a good night. Thank you, buddy.
Assistant Coach Ryan Miller there on Instant Reaction on Coach's Corner. Got anything to add to that, Zach?
No. I don't have much to add. I was wondering, obviously Ryan Kalkbrenner had that ankle issue from last night. I seemed to play through it fairly well. I hope there's no setbacks because, even at whatever he was, half strength, 75% strength, he's still just a game changer for Creighton offensively and defensively. You saw a lot of those the Doug plays, basically, where they'd have a guy screen for him, or he would screen for somebody, and then Baylor would screen for him, and he'd curl around into the post and get those wide-open dunks. And having a mobile big like that is so huge for a team. So I hope he's feeling just as good as he was today, if not better tomorrow. And yeah, that's really my only concern for tomorrow. I guess I'm just waiting to see who the matchup is. I feel like it is written in the stars that it's going to be Creighton San Diego State. What's the score?
Well, Arizona's up 31-15 with 5 minutes to go in the first half.
Mind.
So
I hadn't checked the score.
Yeah. I don't think San Diego State's going to be able to score with Arizona. I mean, they're a pretty good defensive team. They're a very veteran team. Yeah. So I wouldn't count them out of this game, but they're going to have trouble scoring with Arizona. They'd have trouble scoring with us, although they've been very good defensively against us. But just the difference between this year and last year is, yes, we lost O'Connell. Yes, we lost Hawkins. Very good players. But Baylor Schreierman does so much.
He does.
He not only hit threes, but today you saw when he got a little smaller defender on him, he's able to take him down post up and cause some action and then get some plays for other people.
That was actually something I meant to bring up earlier when you were talking about all of the guys that they had switched on to Ryan Nembhard. They had, was his name Davis? On Baylor Schreierman and
Devo Davis,
job. Yeah, he did a great job of using his size in that matchup and hitting some post fadeaways that we hadn't really seen from him up until this point. Which
they're all kind of interchangeable players, really. I mean, Council 6'6", Black 6'7". He's more quicker than say Council is, but Council, as I said, got great leaping ability. Devo Davis, is just a solid player, more experienced guard that they have, and then Jordan Walsh, freshman out of DeSoto, Texas.
Yeah.
He's a nice looking player too.
He does a little bit of everything.
Their big got foul trouble. He's a senior. He got foul trouble early. I actually liked him on the floor over Brazil. I mean,
yeah, Brazil had one of those dunks where it's against the team you're rooting for, so you try not to cheer. But that dunk at the end of the first half, I don't remember the last time I saw somebody jump that high, like somebody that big jump that high. That was unreal. It was like he jumped off a trampoline, which I think Jay Billis said 4 or 5 times. But
so. Creighton shot 58.5% for the game. Against that defense, that's pretty impressive. 50% for three, 72% from the free throw line. Arkansas, on the other hand, 47%, 40% for three. Battle of the rebounds, we edged them by 4. So that was key that we were able to hold on the boards with them because they really crashed the offensive glass hard.
Watching that game, I would not have thought that Creighton out-rebounded Arkansas.
Yeah.
And there is some give and take with, shot 58% from the field, ended with 18 turnovers around there.
17.
17. So
yeah,
you make a lot of shots you have on the offensive end, but when you turn the ball over that many times, that's just so many possessions that you're throwing away. And that is what contributes to, shooting 58% from the field and only winning by 3 points.
Right. Let me rephrase that. Yeah, it was 17 turnovers.
Gotcha.
Yep. Arthur Kaluma had 6. Not one of Art's best games. He
it was not.
went way too much one-on-one. It's just simple as that.
Yeah.
So what do you think on Unsung Hero?
That's probably Trey, right? I mean, I'd say Trey because he didn't have the most outwardly great game. He got in the foul trouble. But everybody else, you're looking at guys who all scored 20-plus points when Trey was kind of just, steady when he's in the game.
Got us some foul trouble.
Yeah. This is a tough one to have an unsung hero.
Right. But Trey hung in there. I mean, tonight we had 17 assists on 31 made baskets. So that's something too. Hey, guess who's joining us? Ross Ferrarini. Hey, Ross. What's up?
Hey, guys.
Hey. You missed the background. The sun's going down now. You missed the background. The sun was setting.
It's too bad. I'm jealous of you. It's a hell of a game. You got to see in person.
Yeah, it was one hell of a game. What did you think, Ross?
It was just. If you take one glance at Twitter, you would have thought that was the national title game. It seemed like everybody and their brother was watching, and it was just. I saw some tweet that said there might have been 10 NBA players on the floor at one point. Which looks pretty accurate. That Anthony Black. Oh my God, I haven't seen a freshman kid that talented in a long time. It seems like. So yeah, it was an unbelievable game. I'm just I'm thrilled the boys got out of there. Played a lot of minutes. Starters played a lot of minutes, but gosh, bring on. It's looking like Arizona, but I'm just thrilled we're in the title game. What a game!
Yeah, absolutely. And you mentioned we play a lot of starters, but you know what? Arkansas they shut down their bench too the last 5-6 minutes. They had to go with their studs as well. They knew it was that kind of game. You had to have your most talented players out there, no question.
So how loud was it in there? Obviously it seemed like it on TV, but
yeah, Rob tweeted out. He goes, "I had no idea this venue would be this loud, and it was unbelievable. You couldn't." The person next to me, I was trying to say something, and they were having a hard time hearing me. It was so loud in there. Yep. They would start the hog chant. They would start, "Let's go Jays." It was back and forth, and it was so loud in there. And I think just the casual fans in there were going, "Oh my word! What a game!"
It seemed like a lot more Arkansas fans there than I probably anticipated. It seemed like a really good Arkansas.
It was about half and half. And if you had to say, all right, you can't say half and half. Which group had more? I would say maybe Arkansas had a couple more fans.
Really?
Wow. Arkansas brought their cheerleaders.
Huh.
Yeah, they were into it. But I talked to a couple of Arkansas guys as I was waiting for a ride to come back here to the house, and they go that because their whole fan base, I'm sure, on Twitter is up in arms about the officials. But those guys go, yeah, there's a couple calls, but he goes, Creighton's just so damn good. He goes, they can just score in so many different ways. It's incredible.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of the calls specifically that Musselman got so upset about. It looked like the one that he got really mad about. That they called a foul when Kalkbrenner was kind of trying to seal his guy, and the guy was playing on top of him, and they called a hold that he hooked and held his arm.
Yeah.
That was a foul. It was a foul. I'm sorry. They showed the replay multiple times.
Like it might not have been a foul because the pass was so bad, but it was a foul.
Right. Yeah, that was speaking of that pass. That was the first time Arthur's obviously, he's turned the ball over a little bit as a freshman, trying to make some plays. But that was the first time I sort of felt Arthur looked a tad uncomfortable out there. I don't think we've seen that from him before.
Yeah, he tried to do too much one-on-one. I think he was trying to show off his ability because there's so many athletes on the floor, and it just wasn't working out for him. He was turning it over way.
He made some plays late, though. I'll give him credit. He kind of redeemed himself, made some game-saving plays late.
Hey, he probably got the toughest rebound of the game. And that battle under that rebound he got, though, when him and Kalk were both kind of right there, and he was getting pushed and shoved and hammered, and he still went up and missed the first shot and then tipped in the second. That was a big boy play, and that kept us in the lead.
Like Zach said, that block too. Yeah. I mean, it's
a game full of athletic plays. That was it's crazy because any other game that would probably be the most athletic thing that you see was that block where he just ripped it down with one hand, but it's probably number 3 in this one.
Yeah.
So. Right. Do we have a number for what Kalk is shooting from his percentage from the field this year? I mean, it's got to be something outrageous.
It's got to be crazy.
I think it was 79% going into the game.
I know, but he started like 5 or like at least 6 of 6 tonight.
He ended up 9 of 12, so 75. So he's probably right there in that 76, 77 range for the season.
That's incredible.
Yeah, shooting 75% and dropping your percentages.
Yeah, that was probably like, I don't sit courtside for a lot of these MTEs I always do, and sometimes at tournament games and so forth. That was the most physical game I'd ever seen. I mean, I thought Texas Tech was physical. I mean, this was above and beyond. Arkansas, just like I was telling Zach, they just don't care. They're gonna follow you until the refs call it, and they're just gonna keep going. And that's what happened. And that's why Arkansas got so incensed, is it went over the top eventually, and the refs had to start calling it, and then they got upset with the calls.
Right. No, you're right though. I mean, that's a lot of times it depends what ref crew you get, but a lot of times when even if you cut a guy off, it's a very fine line, and it's really hard for a defender. I'll give the benefit of the doubt. If you're a defender, it's really hard to cut a guy off and also kind of use your chest and show your hands, but you can go overboard a little bit. As soon as even if you're not reaching and you show your hands, but if you're leaning into the offensive player, I mean, that's a foul, especially if you're a little bit bigger and a physical guy. Like they're always going to call that a foul, and they might get away with it a lot, but the refs were going to call it tonight, and they did. Yeah. Musselman's presser, he seemed irate.
Oh, you watched his presser?
I watched a little bit of it. I mean, he didn't even. It was a lot of one-word answers. I mean, God, you would have thought he lost the national title game.
He was on it though, and then as I was telling Zach, there was an assistant for them that got into it with Nembhard early on in the game.
Really?
Yeah. It would have been So I was on the TV side, so it would have been on the right-hand side. We were playing defense. They were inbounding, and the assistant said something, and this guy was up and down the whole game and out on the floor, and I think he's the one who got the technical, actually. And he was up, and he said something to Nembhard. I mean, big time. And Nembhard went back at him, and then he came out, and then the assistant went on the floor a little bit and said something, and that's when the ref blew the whistle and went over there and told him to sit down. And he goes, he's lipping off, and he went over to Nembhard. Nembhard goes, no, he's the dude that started. I don't have a problem with him. And,
interesting.
There was tons of talking going on the whole game, tons of it.
Was there?
And Kalk in the post game said, hey, they were chattering out there a lot. We wanted to stick it in their face.
I give Arkansas credit. I mean, they're kind of Musselman's kind of built them into that type of program that's kind of got that type of like attitude to them. Like we're gonna, we're some good players, and we're some hard dudes, and just kind of deal with it. I give them credit.
Right, we got some people ready to join in. First up is Jerry. Hey, Jerry.
Hey guys.
What's on your mind?
Just a great game. I mean, those are the kind of games, win or lose, that pay off down the road in January and February when you're trying to win a Big East title, or when you're trying to win the Big East tournament at Madison Square Garden. And I was texting one guy, I said it felt like a regional final type game where you're playing to go to the Final Four. Obviously, Arkansas is very good, very long and athletic, but just a great game. You go play those games to benefit you down the road. And I got to hear. I mean, my brother lives in Arkansas. He can't stand Musselman. He thinks he's a good coach, but the guy whines all the time, and he's been kicked out of games. I think last year when they got beat at the SEC tournament, didn't even shake the other team's hand. He just walked right to the locker room. So he's known to be a big whiner. And I didn't think his. I saw the press conference after the game. It was a great game. I mean, sometimes you win, sometimes you lose, but nobody, when you get to March, the end result of that game doesn't matter. So the one thing that could keep Arkansas, I think, and slow them is composure. And I think Mac talks about all the time adjusting to how the game is called. He talked about that in Texas Tech game. So Arkansas has got to learn if they're going to call a tight whistle, you can't be as physical as you want to be. You got to back off, and when you as a coach start pointing the finger at the refs, and I think the kids lose their composure as well. You've got to be the adult in the room. So anyway, a great game. I mean, those are why you go play in Maui. I mean, the Jays have to be excited. I don't think there's a team in the Big East as good as Arkansas. So, I mean, that's a positive for us.
No, there's not. It's just
not even close.
Yeah, not even close. This team's going to be a load when they get that Nick Smith. I watched Ross. You were not on earlier. We were talking about him. He warmed up today. That Nick Smith Jr.
Well, I saw he was in uniform on the bench.
Yeah.
I was kind of confused.
He warmed up. He had sweatpants on though, but he warmed up. And my God, what a player! I mean, just watching him in warmups, you easily slide him into the starting lineup as well. Right. I don't know what they do, but
I think they're better Kentucky. If I had to pick right now, I think they win the SEC.
I completely agree. I've watched Kentucky twice now. I think that team's better than Kentucky.
Yeah. And I would say it's just going to get better as the season goes on as well with all the youth they have.
I would say one thing with Arkansas, if they came up against a team that had like a really big 5 and a really big 4,
Well, that is Kentucky.
Right. And maybe a guy in oh man, I just missed the replay of R2's dunk. They're showing the highlights at the halftime at Arizona San Diego State. But and then a big guy, the guy I heard him today, a big guy like it, Schreierman. Yeah, there was Arthur's tough rebound when it was 79.
Brazil is a really good player. But I mean, I forgot he comes off the bench for them, but gosh, he was really good tonight.
He was at Mizzou last year. Averaged about 4 points a game, I think.
Are you kidding me?
No, He was
at Mizzou and Council was at Wichita, huh?
Yeah,
My God, that Council's a player.
Oh yeah,
he's a good player, really good player.
What's Wichita doing?
Well, didn't they lose to San Francisco today? Is that who they
lost to San Francisco today?
They had another bad loss at home this year as well. Yeah, there's
Appalachian State.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, they've kind of fallen off the earth.
No, it wasn't Appalachian. It was Alcorn State.
Alcorn State,
right.
Even worse.
Yeah.
But Council can jump so high. Oh, my God, on his jump shot. He just shoots over everybody. Amazing. All right. Hey, Jerry, thanks for calling in. Appreciate it.
Yeah, great game. And, envious of you, Tim. I mean, that had to be fun being in that environment against a team.
It could be crazy tomorrow with Arizona or San Diego State, either one.
But, this is paying off Creighton. This is going to pay off for Creighton on down the road because, they're going to face some adversity in some Big East games. Not anybody, and that can just – if you can beat Arkansas, they're going to be able to beat anybody in the Big East, So,
yep, absolutely.
I agree.
Thanks, guys. Yeah.
Thanks, Jared. All right, up next is Easton joining the show, and you can join as well. Just get that email, bjbinstantreaction@gmail.com. Shoot that email to us, and we will get you on the show. Hey, Easton, how you doing?
Good. Can you hear me?
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. Yeah. Just so much to take away from this game. This was one of the best Creighton games I've ever watched. I mean, back and forth, just amazing plays left and right. But yeah, these are two legit teams. Arkansas, hats off to them. They played out of their minds. That's a well-coached team. That's a very I could see them in the Final Four for sure. And then for us, man, we battled through a lot. I on Twitter I've been seeing Hog fans complain about the refs and some other stuff. But I mean, yeah, they kind of impacted the game. But I mean, I felt like it was both sides. Like they kind of like screwed us in the first half, and then maybe them in the second half, so kind of even out. But yeah, we made some big plays there at the end. We just found a way. And but yeah, those are 2 wins on back-to-back nights against 2 of the best defenses in the country.
Yeah, that's saying something.
But yeah, how did you think of Kaluma tonight? He was kind of off, but he made arguably the biggest play of the game. So
Yeah, that rebound and that putback was huge. Yeah, he just tried to do too much on his own. He was trying to show he had skills too. And when you do that, when R2 took over the ball again and really ran the show, then everything went fine. But when Arthur was trying to go one-on-one, it was not good.
Arthur's got a little bit of that, a little bit of Marcus Foster in him, where he just buries his head down and tries to get to the rack, and it's like nothing's stopping him, and he's got, and so then all of a sudden so if you're not a really good ball handler, then you're susceptible to guys just kind of reaching and swiping at it. And Marcus Foster, for as good as he was, that used to happen to him quite a bit. He tried to go barreling in and get to the rim, and he'd lose the ball. Arthur's got a little bit of that to his game. So, yeah, I'm glad he made some nice plays, but gosh, he needs to settle down offensively a little bit before tomorrow.
Yeah,
I
think tomorrow with with the game today and how physical was, we're going to see a lot more Mason Miller tomorrow.
Yeah, I agree with that. I thought, I don't know, the bench hasn't really been doing much, but I mean, I get it. Like Arkansas did the same thing. They just completely shortened their rotation like the last 5 minutes. But I mean, that's the type of game where like in March and April, you're going to benefit heavily by because that just felt like a tournament game, like Elite Eight, Final Four type of game where like it's just play after play, it really close to the end. But like, geez, that was just an epic game. And now for tomorrow, you kind of rather want. I've been watching Arizona, and man, they are legit too. I didn't think they were that good.
Yeah, they're pretty good. They can score too. So I don't think they're the level of defense. So these last 2 teams we played.
Yeah, we'll be very battle tested. I'll say that. But hey, I mean, credit to Arkansas too. I mean, they haven't been tested all year, and we punched them in the mouth, kind of like what Tech did to us, and they responded. So that was impressive to see. But yeah, this is like a type of win, big resume win.
All right, thanks, Easton. Appreciate the call.
Yep, you have a good night.
You bet. You too. So which was the worst call of the game? There was a lot to choose from.
Baylor's charge call when he was posting up, probably, for me.
I thought that was bad.
That was pretty bad. Yeah, Mac went nuts on that one.
That felt like kind of a makeup call because Musselman had been losing his mind for about straight minutes.
Yes. And then early on in the game, there was a big time over the back on Kalk that the guy went up and tipped it in over him. He just shoved Kalk in the back, and there was no call. That was just horrible. And then, according to John Bishop, the worst call was when Kaluma dove on the floor.
That was bad too.
And he didn't. I thought immediately the ref was going to blow a foul on them. I thought, oh God, Musselman's going to go crazy now. And he called a foul on Kaluma. I couldn't believe it. That was Kaluma's second, I believe.
Yeah, I would probably agree with Zach though. I vividly remember thinking Baylor's charge was really bad. Or offensive foul. I guess it wasn't a charge, but it was an offensive foul.
Where I was sitting, this one official would come down and, he was the wing official. He would stop right in front of me every time down the floor. So I'm trying to look around him. So I didn't see that whole play. But what I saw, it didn't look like Baylor did a whole lot.
It looked like a normal post-up to me. I don't even think they replayed it.
All right. Yeah.
I don't remember Baylor. I mean, I am the biggest Baylor fan. I think it's hard to pick a best player on our team, but I think he's ours, quite frankly. I don't remember his shot being kind of as goofy as it is a little bit. But God, he shoots the hell out of the basketball. I mean, that deep one he hit was unbelievable. I mean, then kind of heat check a couple possessions later, but man, he's kind of like Mitch or Ethan in that respect, that he could stretch the defense so far, and it just makes things so much easier for everybody.
Wow, St. John's and Syracuse in overtime, huh?
I'm watching. I'm on the under, Tim, and OT ain't great for that, but we're still safely there. So no double OT, please.
St. John's taking a 3-point lead with a minute and a half to go. So San Diego State with a big comeback there at the end of the first half. It's down to 5 now, so we can't just pencil Arizona into that slot.
I thought I watched a good bit of San Diego State, Ohio State last night. I thought San Diego State looked really good, kind of that very similar Texas Tech mold, where they're very physical, strong. I don't know what they're feeding some of these kids at these programs. Some of these kids are grown men. It is. I mean, Texas Tech just has that look about them. San Diego State has that look about them. I mean, God Almighty. That I was impressed with San Diego State. Now, Ohio State's got some good players, but they don't.
Sure.
The difference is, what's interesting about watching us and then you watch other teams is not many teams at all move the ball like we do, and just move so freely and so well as an offense like we do. There's a lot of one-on-one and standing around, and other, not aesthetically pleasing basketball being played by other programs.
Yeah. Well, I was talking to Tim about this before you joined the call as well. Is Coach Mack running some of those Doug plays for Kalk? Those curls down into the post ups where he just gets it. They ran it like 2 times in a row and he got one.
That's a pet play that he's been running for a long time. It's a pretty simple. It's just kind of a diagonal screen up the lane a little bit, but it seems to always work no matter who he's run that play for Kalk, Justin Patton, Martin Crumple. I mean, he's run that for Doug. Obviously, he's run that for a lot of guys throughout the years.
Musselman went nuts, by the way, on that second one. He had a problem with Brazil out there because he knew he had that Brazilian offense, but defensively, Brazil was not. He was giving up some plays. Let's put it that way.
Yeah.
So I think Musselman was like, God, I'm in a quandary here. What do I do? I need him on the offensive end because he's stretching that floor right now.
Right. Yep.
So, let's quickly run down, just in case fans don't know, scores tonight. Nemhard had 25 with 5 assists, 6 rebounds. Hulkbrenner had 21 with 7 rebounds. Baylor had 20 points, 7 rebounds, 3 of 5 from 3. So between those 3 guys shooting from the field, and you throw in Trey Alexander 4 of 6, okay? There were 26 of 40 between those 4 guys. That'll get it done. Baylor had 20, as I said. Trey had a quiet 12 points. He was 4 or 5 from the line, those big free throws at the end. Ryan Nemhart was 10 of 12 from the line. That was huge. Yeah. He was shooting it well from the free throw line all day long. Arthur had 9 points. Farabella had a big 3, and that was it.
I can't believe I'm a little surprised. I don't know. I mean, maybe I'm not surprised, but Sharif only played 4 minutes. That's a healthy Sharif. He hasn't played that low of minutes probably since he was a freshman.
Yeah, he hasn't played very many minutes all year, really. I mean,
it's hard. He's got an absolute stud ahead of him. It's just like,
Let's see tomorrow night, though. You may have to give Nemhart a blow because he put in a lot of minutes tonight. So, let's see what happens. Especially, I don't think they're particularly quick at the point, Arizona. So if they get in there, you might have a guy like Sharif who can get by him and create plays. So that would work. Zach, do we have any game highlights?
The game highlights. Let me.
I didn't see any on the Creighton site.
I will check
let me double check here.
YouTube real quick.
I'm thinking because it's an ESPN product, maybe we can't.
St. John's about to go to 6-0.
Is this their toughest team though they played?
I do
Syracuse.
have the highlights.
Probably, yeah. Yeah.
Oh, let's have them.
All right, let me.
Let's have them. Hopefully, we don't get shut down here.
This one down here, the Creighton.
You're watching ESPN's Feast Week, presented by Lowe's.
Oh, yeah, I just saw that about an hour ago. Right there. Just saw those boats out there.
Just rubbing it in, huh?
Oh, I am. Ross, I'll tell you later about the plantation course. So incredibly hard.
Hard, really? Wow.
Oh, my God. Just unbelievably difficult.
Probably pretty cool, though.
Oh, it's very cool. Front nine especially. Front nine's got a lot. Is this the whole game?
No. This is the one from Creighton, right? Yeah. So
It says 13 minutes. Jeez.
there's a
Jeez.
huge
Go-
intro.
Go through every made
There we
bucket.
go. Now we can get through here. Yeah, there was a huge intro. That was part of it. Nemhard came out 3 for 3 from 3. That was big for it.
Trey looks so good from mid range as well.
Very impressive tonight with Nemhard too, because he wasn't getting that normal lob again to call. You know, he had to make plays a little bit differently.
Yeah, that he did. He had that one
Let's
sequence
just
where
dump
he
it
just
to him in the corner.
dribbled 4 circles in the lane.
Yeah, I know. There's where Baylor started to heat up.
Hey,
Big
Jay
three
Billis.
and one.
Jay Billis had some nice words, nice comments for Omaha on the broadcast yesterday.
Yeah, so interestingly enough, Ross, you mentioned that. KP, Kyle Pearson, came by me today.
Yeah.
I talked to him. I said, hey, you're getting a lot of run out of that cap. And Jay Billis is sitting like 7 chairs down from me. And so he goes, yeah, I had to go over to Billis and thank him for that because he had the lost rail cap on again.
Yeah.
And he said he did play with, I think he said he played with Billis while he was here, but I don't know that he played with him out at Lost Rail because he said,
they did. I think they did. Well, I don't know if Billis specifically played with Kyle Peterson, but he said on the broadcast that he played because he was here. He was a speaker for that Creighton Prep Sports Night.
Oh, that's why he was down.
Like a month ago, and he said that he played OCC and Lost Rail.
Right. So I'm sure there's a bunch of people from Creighton Prep took him out to those places. Yeah, Kyle said to me too, just in the brief conversation we had, was how great that this event has been so far. It's the first time he's been to Maui for this. It's just, he goes, the guy, I'm sure you didn't know it because he was on commercial, it was during commercials. The guy running the promos and stuff came out and goes, I've been doing this 25 years. This is the best game I've ever seen.
Wow.
Yeah. I also talked, I've talked every day to Mark Titus.
Oh, okay.
Throwing for him because we were on the selection committee together. So he actually kind of remembered me, actually. And so we've talked every day, and I ran into him as I was leaving the arena tonight. He just said, he goes, yeah, I was talking with Tate. He goes, we were trying to think of a game that was better than this one, and we were having a hard time.
Because they go most years, don't they?
Yeah, that's high compliment. Well, he's talking all time. Yeah, no, I'm sorry. He was talking about Maui because he talked about Duke. Was it Duke Gonzaga had a final in Maui? I believe they did.
Yeah, that sounds right.
Yeah. But he said this is right up there. He, too, was like, God, Brazil, I didn't know he had that in him to be able to knock down threes like that. Yeah, Trey, like you said, Zach, Trey is so good at the mid-range.
Yeah, I like this kid's game, Brazil. Jeez.
Yeah, I know it.
That's an
I like
NBA.
this. I like that kid's game.
That's an NBA player. That's like the old saying: if you're 6'9", 6'10", long, athletic, and can shoot, you're playing in the league. You're gonna make a lot of money.
Yeah, that got Culp fired up right there when he got that foul because they were banging him all night. Man, I can't wait to see R2's dunk here because I was looking ahead when I saw the lane was wide open, and I looked ahead and I thought, uh-oh, here comes Brazil up to take a charge. And he just dunked it over him.
Yeah. Well, I think Brazil had 4 fouls at that point as well, so.
Right.
If there was ever a time to do it, that was it.
We're expecting much of the same in our second semifinal a little bit later on. San Diego State and Arizona still to come here from Maui.
Yeah, we missed the big turning point, I thought, in this first half was we were up 10. That was an unbelievable bucket by Kaluma.
Mm-hmm.
We were up 10. We were up
Yep.
10, and we had 2 great passes for layups, and we missed them both. There's a backdoor to Schreierman and Kaluma coming in off the edge. And the guy sitting next to me goes, I think he halfway up decided not to dunk it. He kind of changed his mind, and then he missed the reverse layup.
Yeah, that one was awkward looking.
Big scramble here. There was the dunk.
Arthur might lead the nation in plays that look like travels. Just some of his footwork every once in a while. It looks like he's taking too many steps, but his strides are just so long.
Yeah, that's a good observation.
Carmelo hits a 3, everybody.
Yeah, that was a big one too.
He had some more wide open looks that he didn't knock down, man. Zach, just to let you know, you got a huge round of laughter in at my place with that comment. They tend to agree with that one on Kaluma.
Oh yeah. That was such a nice move too.
1-point game in Maui.
That's the thing you can say about, Baylor is, God, he's so much more than a 3-point shooter.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh gosh, Baylor does everything. Oh my goodness!
Did you see that one?
What a dunk and finish!
Yeah.
I don't know
Not
why
on the
screen's
highlights.
in front
Not
of
on
me.
the highlights, folks. Ross is watching the Arizona Saints.
Sorry.
Big block there by
Yeah.
Kalk. Kind of turned the tide because he's turned into a 3-point lead here. And there goes Arthur. Pa-boom.
And once he kind of slowed down, he looked a lot better. When he wasn't trying to kind of do everything himself, once he let the game come to him, he looked a lot better.
This was shortly about 2 minutes after all those technicals, and there's Baylor's deep bomb.
I'm going to tell you something. Riverside, we just played and beat badly. Obviously, everybody just sees the name, but we've been saying this. They're not a bad program at that level. They're about to beat Wright State in Vegas, who Wright State's been the best team out of the Horizon for about 3-4 years running now. I'm telling you, Riverside's going to win a lot of games this year in the Big West.
Dangerous passer. That just shows how quick,
That was great
long-
defense. That
how
Arkansas
long Arkansas is, and that just shows right there.
led to this, though.
Yeah, I know it. I think we got a Nemhard dunk coming up here. No, this is Kaluma's rebound, right? No, we already saw that.
Yeah, this has to be the. Oh no, it's the. Yeah, the Kalkbrenner reverse.
Yep. I think we missed the Nemhard dunk, didn't we? Yeah, that happened
we
earlier.
We saw the Nemhard dunk.
Okay, I
think we
missed
missed
it.
the
Sorry.
Kaluma tip.
We were talking.
The Nemhard dunk was right after that errant pass to Baylor from Big Ryan.
I like having Trey and Nemhard at the line in these clutch situations.
It's nice to have a team that hits free throws.
So,
Yeah.
now watch this right at the end here. Watch how he tries to jump into Trey.
Yeah.
And the rest did not fall for it. I told everybody on press row, I go, Mac's not going to foul her. He just won't foul. All right. So, yeah, this game's totally up in the air here. So we don't know who we play, but we know it will be 4 o'clock Omaha time tomorrow, right? Correct? It's noon here.
Yep.
I know.
That's correct. 4 p.m. Omaha.
Right.
Yep.
So it'll be San Diego State, Arizona. We will let you go and let you watch that game, the end of that game, do a little scouting. Remember, if you're on here right now, please make sure and hit the subscribe button. We'll try and have another preview with either San Diego State or Arizona, reaching out to their rivals, guys, like we have the last 2 games on BlueJayBanner.com. So thanks, everybody, for joining. Thanks, Ross. Thanks, Zach. We'll see you right back here tomorrow night.
Have fun tomorrow.
It'll be early evening, actually, but we will, and my background will be, you will not join the show just to look at my background tomorrow at this time. It's going to be beautiful.